Ребят, давно прохождения не было этой игры, замечательной, да, надо начать, тем более, что неохота ни в Сталкрафт, ни во что почему-то, не знаю, ебут и все. У нас есть здесь история, продолжить.
I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Еще, возможно, несколько частей будет, опять по часику, типа, похуй. Вообще, поиграем, посмотрим, чё, как оно. То, что люди что-то сливаются. Так, ладно, пойдем вспоминать управление.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him.
Мне кажется, у меня изображение... А, да, это точно игра такая. Так, чувствительность мышки надо понизить, что-то я отвык. Вот так примерно. Нормально. Так, сейчас я посмотрю, сам стрим лагает, не лагает быстренько. Чисто пару сек. Чисто пару сек. То, что... Так, ладно. Блять, один момент. Задержка большая мне настолько? Не. Да, какие-то фрезы есть непонятные. Мне это не нравится. Что за хуйня? У меня что-то скачивается или Steam? Сорян! Отмена. Steam. Нет, отмена. Не то. Что-то подлагивает, и мне это не нравится. Бля, у меня Gunslinger закрылся пару сек. Какая-то херня. Окей. Громко, громко, громко. Параметры изображения. Да, можно оставить. Так, ладно. Еще разок. Великолепная одиночка.
Pointed out to me more than once. God made men. Samuel Colt made them equal.
О, шахта, может, и не какой-нибудь? Оу. Думаю, винтовка получше будет. А здесь у нас что? Типа с разных сторон можно заходить, понял? Надеюсь, меня хорошо слышно. Для себя игру немного убавлю.
knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in 48.
Aa,
Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers, hijacking gold ships. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy
о,
picking.
зря я так сделал.
Charlie Crow from Blackstone. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, butcher's son.
Смертельный удар.
Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. Dangerous, desperate individual. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it.
Ладно, живем.
They must have thought I was tough. Or had
Конечно,
some kind
перезаряжать
of death wish.
довольно проблематично, блядь, эти
Seeing as there were
револьверы.
barrels of gunpowder everywhere. I thought I
Так,
was
сейчас да, я быстренько посмотрю, как на стриме это все идет. Лагает или не лагает так. Что-то есть такое, не знаю почему. Или нет. Или мне кажется. Да нет, нормально все. Ну ладно, продолжаем.
I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny.
Я все тайники не буду искать, мне лень.
I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way. You know who we are.
О, да. Дробовичок.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it.
Больно въебало пролетает.
Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. A single stumble or misstep could easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
I do not deserve to die like this.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come. With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, the body has to know what he's shooting.
Да, я знаю, куда стрелять. Прям по
All
бочке,
it
что.
takes is one tiny spark, and boom.
И бум.
You must be about out of bullets. Show yourself now.
Это да.
Drop you down a mine.
Опасно.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube. I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just rotten, but clearly decisive.
Нихуя себе. Ладно. Серьезно,
It's a
но?
good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I
Блядь.
even tried it. Instead, I spotted a ladder way into the mine from the opposite side.
Ой, не так, Так, что у нас тут есть? Быстрая перезарядка дробовиков. Да. Стрельба из двух звероловов. Шестое чувство. Да. Будем вот это фулить просто. Я не знаю зачем. Я хочу фулить дробовики и винтовки.
It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me.
Да, блядь,
Climbing
сколько
down
здесь
that ladder
лестниц.
required some caution. Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob.
Дробовики здесь это тема.
But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
Ладно, лестница так лестница.
I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise.
Комментарии,
I was
конечно,
warmed up
охуенные.
already, so what the hell? Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Похоже прям на это. На поле битвы. А мне это не нравится. Босс, да? Неплохо. Красиво, красиво, бля. Пафосно чисто.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged. I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
You can shoot, but can you aim? I need some help here. Come on, boys, take this cocksucker out.
Вау. Кто понял, я перевод. Тихо. А попадание слишком неприятно. Так, да заряжай быстрее, быстрее, быстрее. Ну-ка. Жить. На
Well,
нахуй.
that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Неплохо. Это только начало пути его.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself.
За 4.
Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Это только лишь начало пути, оказывается. Ладно, быстрый или мертвый. Интересно, как концовка будет выглядеть.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Бля, вот этот перезаряжается быстрее. А надо ближе идти. Скорострел, блядь.
I thought the Texas Rangers got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe.
Ебать он хуярит.
It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men.
То, блядь, мы
He was
пока
a
проходим, мы уже
bona
больше
fide folk
отбираем.
hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their Hefe of my unwelcome presence.
Tell Hardin someone's coming for him!
Тут кто-то не умер, да?
Stop
Похуй,
that son of a bitch!
похуй, ладно.
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
Ну, винтовка, я думаю, пока попрактичнее будет. Хуй попадешь, блядь.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Бадлаги бывают порой
And I
прогрузка
steeled
мира.
myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, Deep down, I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers.
Так, что у нас тут? Ага. Ага. Вот это будет. Вот это, кстати, пиздатая тема. Заряжен друга с контрацептом. Эффективнее. Ну тут винтовка не борется. Винтовка, вот она где. Ладно, будем качаться сюда.
Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Somebody kill him!
Ну что, да?
I think I already mentioned that I found Harding in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me.
Так, подожди.
In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
Тихо.
You just made your man!
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Во-во-во-во, наконец. Убил человека за храп. Еще 40 за то, что дышали.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Нихуя.
No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Бля, вот это вот я не люблю здесь. Надо было. Все, понял. Я не знал, с какого выстрелит, ладно. Окей, здесь еще и ворота есть. Будем знать. Сука, это сложно. Ебать, игра, конечно, прикольная. Душит. Да как? Не понял прикол. Надо раньше было выстреливать, да? Уфка. Ладно. Тяжелый босс. Но он очень быстрый. Я же ворот нажал, он не вернулся. Тут надо от ворота сыграть и, короче, выстрелить. Я понял, блять, но он не захотел уворачиваться.
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he
Пиздец.
was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
Я его не убил?
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Beer?
Ой, блядь. Корышная хуйня. Ну, это был быстрый босс, но он тяжелый на самом деле.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
О, Грей Вульф.
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
Прикольно. Сейчас будем ебашить индейцев. Нормально.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
Давным-давно далеко в горах. Ой,
Grey
красиво.
Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him. They saw me before I saw them.
Они тоже на револьверах, да, походу?
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting has started, there was no backing
Не
down.
понял. Что-то они быстро со всех сторон повлазили. Да, с ними надо быть поаккуратнее.
They saw me before I saw them.
А почему очков за того не дали? Тайников нет. Печально. Где еще тело? Нормально.
was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated.
Тихо.
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I've got a lot of those.
Тихо. Много. Ну-ка, здесь у нас что? Очень много индейцев.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Надо в пещеры прорваться. А вот винтовка мне почему-то нравится больше. Да, винтовка явно лучше, чем револьвер.
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Тут бы дробовик, наверное, лучше был. Убойная хуйня тоже.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Так, перезаряд. Поехали. Дробовик.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hit out there during the Indian Wars.
Ладно, все, тихо.
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
Так, здесь что у нас? Орлиный... О, прикольно. Замедление. Больше патронов для винтовки. Да, вот это надо качать. Вот это тоже пиздато.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there.
Если
Those
девчонки
girls
никогда
never
не
shut up.
замолкают.
Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the
Это
cave of death.
арена.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are.
Б кривой.
The soul would have no rainbow. I had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry Wolverine. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Фига, блядь. Я, подожди, перезаряжусь. А вот так удобнее стало хуярить.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
Стой. Больше патронов. Патронов много не бывает.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering white water river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Тихо. Так, сидимся, пошли дальше. Сквозь кусты стрелять я не умею. Он упал. Так, у меня только дробовик, да? Блять, больно долбится своих винтовок.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trick?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Дробовик не зря вкачал. Ладно, перезарядка дробовика тема. А не мажут конкретно. Сколько опыта мне приносят эти рассказы.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Мистика.
Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
Блин, опять печально. Ты гонишь и гонишься, а тут на хуй тебе.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
Эпизод 6. Братья Далтон. Ладно.
Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Меня зовут Охотником за головами. Это какой получается 6-й эпизод? Скорее всего, его пройдем, и на этом вторая часть будет закончена.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition. Or you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
Проберитесь в банк.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. One of them was a bounty hunter feared by many lawmen. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait for something.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns.
Из-за
He
этого
went in there
путаешься.
alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting.
Музон прикольный такой.
A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Is that Silas Green?
Jim
Son
Booth,
of a
David
bitch!
Cross Jr. died defending the Alamo.
Обрезанный дробовик тема.
Over there! That's Silas Green. What the hell?
Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
Оу.
His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon.
Три разные истории.
Daltons blew up the safe, and we're all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Лидер-любовник лох. Ой, блядь. 3L.
I'd been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville. Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions.
Так, у меня очко есть, да? Быстрая перезарядка винтовки. Мгновение ока. Вставляя обойму снизу винтовки, вы сокращаете время зарядки на 50%. Охуенно.
I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons, and they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons, which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day.
Лох.
But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Не хочу найти карточку у того чувака с лоха, который... Это забавная тема. Но там лучше скачать какая-то винтовка в руках.
Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work. It was him, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Green. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Хедшот,
But Emmett
сука.
Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
Тут, мне кажется, главный герой на пиздеже ловит пиздец.
But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
8 тайников, охуеть. Ну да, тут 3 истории на одном месте. Ладно, это забавно. А других, интересно, поймает или нет? У нас еще есть 9 минут.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We're tracking to the edge of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
Да,
It was
спасибо.
tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks.
Тут по-любому что-то есть, да? Нет, ну ладно.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Черный бар. Так, надо следить за метками.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Ну, перезарядка выросла прям значительно.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Да, блядь, заебут. Как будто в спину кто-то стреляет, понять не могу. Блядь.
Point being, I was under serious attack, and my reinforcements was
Пару
nowhere
сек,
to
мне
be
надо на
seen.
телефон ответить. Так, все, сорян, я тут. Сейчас мы Далтонов отловим и закончим на этом прохождении. Сука. бегу. Живем. Живем. О, там тайник.
A barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. That goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve?
Кто-то заснул.
So I just started walking, and pretty soon it...
Oh,
Steve? Steve?
huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all
Jason.
sides.
Indians? There were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
Старперы.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Затачки дают. Ну-ка.
Stop that, son bitch!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what.
В голову было.
But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Быстрый парень. Это что дает? Задом самородком истины, если окажется еще больше опыта. Но мы будем вот сюда качаться. Зачем ты на меня бежишь, дура? Муша, блядь. О. Щитоносцы укрепленные, нихуя. Где эти Далтоны, блядь? Музон охуевший. Не понял, что это прикол. дереву. Ладно, как хочешь.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Опыт. Бах, бабах. Заебись. О, пахнет финалом. Сколько уже? 1:01,
That's when
нормально.
I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a
Красиво.
goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets came raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
А, блядь. Гатлинг, сука. Не, я добью их. Эти Далтоны меня бесили. Так, мы первым делом сюда. На. Гатлинг минусанули.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Обрезанные дробовики
Sounds like
темные.
you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Bill. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Секрет. Уф. Надеюсь, New Game плюс есть. Я бы припрошел потом чисто для себя еще пару раз. Блин, красиво. Локация прикольная. Специфичная. Тут секрета нет альтернативы. Печально.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. It turned out that they had me.
Воу, неожиданно.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a river. Hey, I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
We're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed to. I don't think it'll even
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing.
Ah.
They say that the Titanic is unsank.
Шани
oh
будет.
God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Вот это кайфово. А можно стрелять бесконечно, да, надеюсь? Да, лучше прицеливаться.
Bob and Grant weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Одного убил, второго не смог. Ладно, это финал. Финал это радует, ладно. Два брата, да? Двое на одного. Маски у них прикольные. Вот я так понимаю, там лох один из них. Да блять! Надо в того в первом стрелять, в дальнего, потом в первого. Все, все. Этот медленный. Надо в него стрелять. Он тихий. Блядь, это специально так и сделано на самом деле, отвечаю. Да.
Sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later. He moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day.
О, да.
And the tragic
Честно
death
убит.
of his two brothers.
Навыки. Быстрый ствол, быстрый прицельный. Выбирайте цели быстрее. Ваша скорость прицеливания с любого оружия увеличена на 30%. Да, это нам нравится. Контрацепция по брошенному динамиту. О врагах за спиной. Разделение динамита в полете. Что? Казнь ближайших врагов. Блин, прикольно. Ладно, ребят, спасибо всем, кто был.